In other news, rat infestations at food establishments remained a public health concern in Singapore. Authorities have penalised eateries in more than 230 cases last year, while licensed operators are required to implement proper prevention measures. Businesses warn that a single errant player can trigger a surge in rat activity. Eugene Chow has more.
Eggs, noodles and vegetables. 61-year-old Louis Tay runs this cooked food eatery along North Canal Road. But he's not the only food and beverage business here. At least 10 other outlets share the same back alley as Mr. Tay's eatery. According to him, that proximity to others has become a worrying issue.
What you need is just one black sheep among all the F&B entities here. That is enough to generate a huge population of rats moving around in the back alley. Because unless everybody take the subject of getting rid of this rodent very seriously and responsibly, then I believe on the whole we can achieve a better result, in trying to minimize their population.
As with most eateries, Mr. Tay engages a pest control firm to help keep the rats out. A part of that is doing routine checks for signs of rats, such as droppings or holes in food packaging. But for F&B outlets, there's a limit to what can be done to catch these rodents.
What don't work in F&B is baiting alone or mechanical trap. Because the thing is that the F&B largely deals with food. We cannot use baiting as it may cross-contaminate. And another issue is if the rodent die within the walls or the false ceiling, there will be a rotting smell and it's going to be a big issue.
It's why Mr. Neo wants to test out a new contraption, one that sucks up rats using a vacuum. While widely used in other parts of the world, it's not yet available for sale in Singapore. Peanut butter is used to lure the rats in. When a sensor detects movement, the vacuum is turned on, sucking the rats into an enclosed chamber where they are later disposed of. The Singapore Food Agency and National Environment Agency say the public can report rat sightings and activity via the One Service app.
There's better news in Little India, with no rat burrows being detected in March and April. That's down from an average of 37 burrows found every 2 months last year. The National Environment Agency says rat activity in the area has fallen by about 40% and is looking to use video analytics to keep rat populations at bay. Rachel Ting reports.
This is a site that authorities have been stepping up efforts to stamp out since April last year, and efforts have paid off. Rat burrow numbers have dropped from about 5,400 in the first half of 2025 to 4,200 in the second half. Efforts were focused on areas with dense food and trade activity like Little India, Holland Village, Geylang and Serangoon Gardens.
When there's poor refuse management, right, so there's food waste, right, then if for the premise owner, they anyhow throw their rubbish, such there's bulky items and such, right? So this can be shelter for the rats also. So the surveillance camera that we deploy here allow us to monitor the ground situation and gather information and evidence, and then take enforcement actions against premises owners for the improper refuse disposal.
As of April, the agency has deployed 40 of these thermal cameras. That's on track to exceed last year's total of 84. As rats are nocturnal and skittish around humans, these tech tools are also useful in better understanding rat behavior. External air conditioning units and pipes like these are some ways that rats can use to access the upper floors of buildings in order to nest or find more sources of food. And this is something that authorities have found after deploying thermal cameras for about 2 years. And with these cameras, they're also able to spy on these rats in the dead of night and find out which are the most popular routes that these rats may take. And this helps enforcement officers zero in on which units to inspect in the day. Of around 1,200 enforcement actions last year, around half were related to poor refuse management. Moving forward, the agency is exploring video analytics and machine learning.
So with the machine learning, right, it will help us to reduce the number of manpower by reducing the manual of looking through the footage to identify the rats. And with this, we can actually deploy the manpower to deploy more the PIR cameras, which is the passive infrared cameras, and cover a wider area.
NEA says falling burrow numbers are an encouraging sign that enforcement efforts are making a difference. But it warns that rat populations can rebound quickly if housekeeping and refuse management lapses resurface.